We were all employees at Wakami Lake Provincial Park,
We were interpreting the themes of the park or the history of the park.
and we started performing campfire sing-songs. And that was really the beginnings of the Wakami Wailers.
Landed in New Brunswick, that lumbering country. I hired to work in the lumberwoods down by the mirror machine.
We ended up going through a variety of libraries and trying to find sources of books of these logging songs. And they eventually just started coming forward. And there's a lot more out there than we ever anticipated. And we just started collecting things, really like pack rats, if you will.
My name is Peter Emberley, as you might understand. I was born in Prince Edward Island.
If you go through some of these hundreds and hundreds of songs that were collected back in the 1930s and earlier, you'll get a sense of the life in the camps, the death in the camps, the funny parts of it, the love lives. You can see the whole history, so it covers all the bases.
So the songs were entertainment, but they're really an oral history as well.
Very much in the folk tradition. Let's take this song, change the words to make it look like our camp, and we'll start spreading the word that way.
In the logging camps, there just wasn't anything for the lumberjacks to do. And they developed their own entertainment.
Thank you very much.
I got a story for you from Onok Raoul about the best day of hunting I ever did have.
Just to add some color to our story and developing a character,
I began developing Raoul at the campfire shows, and the people liked it very, very much. So I kept on with Raoul.
The bullet went out, hit a rock, split in two, and killed both them two deer dead. I reached in the air to give thanks. What happens? I grabbed myself 3 Canada geese. I pulled the geese down. At that time, a rabbit's going by. I step on the rabbit. It trips me and knock him out. I end up falling on the ground in my bum, and I sat on 3 partridge. The best day of hunting Raoul ever had.
No, don't even encourage him.
In the past, we've done such things as pull him out of Lake Superior because he's fallen right into the lake during performances and stuff, and the kids catch on to that. And it's funny, whenever we do perform, the adults gather around to talk about the music, and the kids are always following Raoul around.
What do you remember about the stories? What did you learn?
They logged and they had to hunt for food like deer and beavers and fish.
I learned that how they got the logs down the river.
Ask any girl in the parish around what pleases her most from her head to her toes. Just say I'm not sure that it's business of yours, but I do like to waltz with the log driver, for he goes burning down the white water.
Two important things were the cook and the fiddler. So they had to have good food, they had to have some entertainment. It was incumbent upon the camp foreman to ensure that he had somebody who played, whether it be a guitar, an accordion, harmonica, or a fiddle. Just in terms of morale.
We have gone into the studio to, I guess, clean up a few things from the first album, Last of the White Pine Loggers, which was a collection of traditional logging songs from the late 1800s to the early 1900s.
Well, very impressive.
Was that psyche or what?
We're doing a remastering of it, and we're adding some songs to it, and cleaning up a few spots where our harmonies have gotten a little better over the years. Essentially, we're preparing for even more albums in the future, so this is to get us back in gear again.
Harnessed up my horse is my business to pursue. And I went to haul and white pine as I often used to do. I only hauled at one loader, I should have hauled at 4. I went down to Omimi and I could not haul no more.
Why do you feel it's so important for people to understand the history of logging and its place in Canadian history?
I think it's important that they be reminded of that because it's really, in many respects, it's a part of what we are, as the fur trade is a part of what we are. And lumbering, as we said, you know, it started in 1807, 1808. So we're looking at almost 200 years of that going on. It's an important part of Canada's history.
Settling followed logging. So what happened first were the lumbermen would be through there, clear the area, and then the farmers would move in. So all up through Peterborough and all the way up to the Ottawa Valley, right across Algonquin Park, these were all massive areas of white pine that were logged out. You know, the story there is so important in terms of initiating the settlement of the province.
There was a certain camaraderie amongst the people that worked in camp that I think we've lost a lot of that in today's isolated societies. They had to rely on each other all the time. They worked very hard, and nothing came easy to them. And a lot of these fellows had their families back home waiting for them, so they spent the whole winters out there. So you have to really appreciate the integrity that these guys had and the guts they had to go up there and work those winters.
Way, hey, away we go, across the ice and through the snow.
And then it seemed overnight it was gone, and all the bunkhouses just disappeared and faded into the past.
Way, hey, away we go, across the ice and through the snow, leaving our families, away we go. We're the last of the white pine loggers, the last of the white pine loggers, last of the